Welcome to our daily Forex market analysis, and this is for trading on September the 22nd, 2021. Just a quick disclaimer here before we get started. This is for educational purposes only. Trading is a risky business, so please be careful with your money. As usual, we'll start off by taking a look at our calendar here. So in terms of what we have coming up on Wednesday, we have Bank of Japan monetary policy statement followed by the press conference. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. At this point, not really expecting much to change. So I'm expecting everything to stay the same. So we'll see any sort of comments in regards to tightening the monetary policy will be bullish for Japan, but again, I'm not really expecting a change there. In addition to that, we also have the Fed statement here. So we have FOMC at this point not looking at an interest or expecting an interest rate change. However, comments in regards to any sort of interest rate, tightening the monetary policy again, increasing interest rate, tapering the asset purchase program, all of those type of things will be positive for US dollar. Now, should they talk about pushing the date back or not tightening the monetary policy or continuing as things are for the next little while, that would be negative for the US dollar. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, so let's go on to the charts. We'll start off with the euro dollar. So today we saw, or over the last few days, we have seen that prices have been, actually it's the stock market that has really been suffering. So this is we haven't seen a big drop in the stock market for some time. So now we are seeing that bit of a drop here. And this is where, because the stock market is dropping, we are seeing safe haven currencies doing well, which is US dollar is part of that, Swiss franc, Japanese yen. All these currencies are safe haven currencies. And when the stock market drops, when there is risk aversion in the market, we see these go up. And hence, we have seen US dollar do well over the last little while. Now, for the euro dollar here, we have seen a bit of a pullback. And now I'm looking for a continuation here. So bias is neutral to bearish and looking for price to move lower here. In terms of our targets, I'm looking at 1.1665. So bearish bias here for euro dollar. Pound dollar, this one has been dropping for the last few days. We did see that pullback and price has held now below the previous support resistance level. Now, as long as it holds here, basically looking for a drop in pound dollar as well. So bearish bias, just keep in mind for the US dollar, we do have the Fed statement coming up tomorrow, which could change things. But from the technical perspective here, it does look bearish. Next target is 1.3600 and then potentially 1.3570. So bearish bias, do watch out for a bit of a pullback. We could see a retest, but overall looking for a drop here. So bearish bias for pound dollar as well. Aussie dollar has also been dropping. As we can see, price has gone down, and then we did see that pull back into the previous support resistance level. Now we have a bearish pin bar here. So looking for a further drop, 0.7200 is the first target and 0.7100 is the next target. So bearish bias for Aussie dollar. New Zealand dollar, this one also looks bearish. Again, we see price pulled back. We had a drop. We have a pullback and now looking for that continuation to the downside here. So bearish bias for New Zealand dollar as well. And 0.6950 is the first target here. And then 0.6930, the second target. So bearish bias for New Zealand dollar as well. Dollar CAD here, this one has been going back and forth. And we have seen price to be a bit choppy. It did go into resistance and again pulled back. Now it's holding here. So if the US dollar continues to stay strong, we're likely to see the price move up towards 1.2900. This is neutral right now though, because if price gets stuck below 1.2850, then we could see a drop again. So at this point, neutral bias for dollar CAD. Let's take a look at our commodities. So silver here, silver is at an interesting point. So that big move to the upside here. Now we have, again, filled that. In this case, it is looking, it is into support. And this is where the concern is. Price is right into the support. Last time price was here, it pulled back, and previously as well. And then the time before, again, price has been struggling at this level. So watch out. So bias is neutral to bearish here. And in this case, what I'm looking for is if we get a pullback, 22.70, then we may see a drop. As long as it holds below this 22.70 level, I'm looking for a drop. So in this case, target is 22.00, and then it gets a bit concerning. Next target is 21.63. So bearish bias with caution though. Gold here, gold is pulling back a bit. Now it has pulled back into the previous support resistance level, and this is where we may see it struggle. So it's right into the resistance, and if it holds below 1782, we could still see a drop here. So watch out for that. So last time we had a drop, price pulled back into the previous support resistance level, another drop here, and now price is pulled back. And if it holds below 1782, we're looking for a drop once again. So bearish bias here in this case, and target is 17. So not bearish bias, neutral bias here. And first target is 1757 and then 1740. Oil here, oil is looking neutral at the moment. We did see that drop. We saw the move up, we saw the drop and a pullback. So now it's at an interesting level. And the candle close for the day is neutral. So here, as long as it stays below 71.37, I'd be looking for a drop, and first target is 69.30. And should it continue, then we're looking for 67.50. So neutral bias for oil. Copper here, quite a drop for copper. And with this still holding below this previous support resistance level at 4.14. And in this case, its bias is neutral. We're coming into some support levels here. So I'm looking for a retest. It may not get into all the way into the low here, but we may get a bit of a pullback. And then if it holds, we're looking for move higher. Right now, bias is neutral here. Bitcoin has been having a rough last few days with the stock market dropping. So first initial decline was after that big buildup here, all the selling that came in, and then we did see a bit of a pullback. It held below the previous support resistance level, and now we are seeing a drop. It's dropping with the stock market right now, so bias still remains to the downside. In this case, if as long as it holds below 42,500, I'd be looking for another decline. So bearish bias for Bitcoin. Target is 39,600, then 37,300. So looking bearish here. S&P 500, this is looking quite bearish right now. As we can see, we have a nice bearish pin bar. So looking for a retest of the low here. So first target is 4,300. And then 4250. So bearish bias for S&P 500. It seems to be holding, did go back to do the, or back for the pullback, but that's a nice bearish pin bar. So still looking bearish here. Nasdaq, the same thing here. We had that drop and then a pullback right into the previous support resistance level. We have a doji there. So looking for a drop, 14,800. is the first target, 14,700 is the second target. So bias is bearish here. Dow Jones, this is looking bearish as well. Again, we have a bearish pin bar, so looking for a drop here. In this case, 33,580 is the first target. And then we have 32,300, so bearish bias. DAX here, DAX has pulled back. Now, as long as it holds below 15,400, we are looking for a drop here. So bearish bias again. So we did have that pullback, but I'm looking for a follow through to the downside here. So bearish bias target is 15,130 or 15,000 even. So bearish bias for DAX. FTSE here, we did have a nice little pullback, but it's right into resistance and price was bouncing off of it. So looking for a drop, further drop towards 68.20. So bearish bias for FTSE as well. And last but not least, we have Nikkei. Nikkei did recover today. And with this one here, as long as it holds below 30,000, we're looking for a drop back into 29,420. So bias is bearish here for Nikkei as well. So that's it for today. You guys have a wonderful trading day, and I will be back again tomorrow. Bye for now.